It's January 12, 2023. My name is Jimmy Van, and this is KYN Live. My guest recommends you get yourself a girl who can snowboard. He was apparently really moved by a Selena Gomez documentary, and he's open to watching any type of movie, but nothing about dogs. He is the co-host of the Ludicrous Report here at Know Your News on Tuesdays. This is Joey Karni. Joey, how are you, man?
How are you? Welcome. Thanks for having me on the show.
It is a pleasure to talk to you. I was telling Joey, we have chatted like a fair bit, but we've never done a face-to-face before because this is the digital world that we live in now. So it's nice to, I guess, meet you face-to-face.
Right.
Sort of, considering you've been doing Know Your News podcast for like weeks.
Yeah.
But that's the world we're living in. And you just celebrated a milestone birthday. So happy birthday, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, so here's what's going to happen. Oh, the first thing I should say, I guess, is, guys, if you want to get in your super chats to get your question or statement read on the air, you can do it on YouTube, or you can go to kynchat.com, leave a contribution of any size, and we will read your question or your statement live on this podcast. I got 7 good ones again, Joey. Are you ready to go here?
I am ready to go. Let's do it.
All right, let's start with story number 7, reported by TMZ. So the holidays are usually stressful when it comes to traveling. This year, it was even worse because of weather issues and staffing issues and technical glitches. There's lots of stuff on the news about baggage issues and all of that. A woman in Miami was at the American Airlines counter next to a crowded gate. Suddenly, she noticed that her kids had walked away from the gate without telling her. Joey, what happened next?
Oh, man, I can only assume that she went bonkers. Knowing a little bit about Miami, knowing a little bit about the people there, she probably tried to get security, threw a tantrum, and probably started swinging. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're pretty much on the right track. She ripped out a commuter monitor. She chucked it two-handed at a gate agent. We got a video clip. Check this out. This is anger management issues for sure. Look at this girl here. She's talking. And then look at this. Double-handed, rips it up, and kaboom, throws it at the agent. She caused $10,000 in damage. She was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, criminal mischief, and aggravated battery. Look, maybe it's just me, but looking at that, what that woman did, I'm thinking that she had other stuff going on in her life aside from travel stress. What do you think?
Yeah, I have to kind of agree with you there. And if it was my kids that were missing, I don't have any kids, but I'm just, just speaking out loud here. If it was me in that situation, I probably would have went to go look for my kids first before having my own Royal Rumble right there in the airport.
I mean, I got 2 little kids, and I can tell you, sometimes they know how to push the right buttons, and they know how to kind of get on your nerves a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe she was on her last nerve, and then she turned around and the kids took off, and she's like, "Oh, fuck this."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe she really just hates airports.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Really? So for every story that I do on this podcast, I try to ask a question somehow related to it. And so my question for you related to this one is, have you ever been on either side of a dramatic customer reaction, whether you were the customer or you were the staffer dealing with the customer?
I've never been the customer on that end. I've never really had a situation like this happen. I've had customers when I used to work in sales get loud or whatnot. Never anything physical, luckily, but I guess you could say something close to that. Where I was working at a watch store called Tourneau, and a customer was promised a certain price. They came in weeks later. Price changed, obviously being weeks later, and they hit the glass and fractured the glass there, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah. I was once, I don't mind saying this because so much time has passed by that what's going to happen. I was once at a casino in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, and I had one too many pops, if you know what I mean, and I'm at the slot machine with a buddy, and it was right on the cusp of hitting the jackpot. The 3 things was right on the cusp, but missed it. And without even thinking twice, I went, shit. And I slapped the glass, and the glass, psh.
Oh man.
And I leaned into my friend. My friend was next to me on another machine. I leaned into him and I said, "We're leaving now." And he goes, "What are you talking?" And I pointed, and he goes, "Oh shit." And we just beelined out of the casino. And so if anybody's watching this from that casino and wonder what the hell happened, well, hello.
Well, did any sounds go off from there? Maybe you hit jackpot that way.
I wish. No, but that's what happened. It was many, many moons ago, and I was a young, stupid human being. But that's what happened. All right, let's go on to story number 6, reported by the New York Post. Check this one out. So an 88-year-old man, okay, 88, he went to the hospital in Toulon, France, to seek medical attention. As a result of his medical ailment, they had to evacuate the hospital and they had to divert incoming emergencies to somewhere else. Joey, what was the problem with this elderly gentleman that caused them to evacuate the hospital?
Oh man, see, my mind goes to these dark places. It could be anything. Older guy, I would have to suggest something. I don't know, something. Issue with him going to the bathroom or something. It has to be something gross that people can't be around for. Something that you said evacuated. Something along those lines.
He had a World War I artillery shell stuck up his ass. And we got pics courtesy of the New York Post. We got the X-ray, and there's the X-ray, and you can see it. It looks like he put it in backwards. It looks like he put like the wide end in first, according to that X-ray. And here is what the actual shell looked like. Look at that thing, Joey. This is an 88-year-old man. So they called the bomb squad. The bomb squad showed up. And they reassured everyone that the shell was a collector's item and it would not explode. Doctors, as you saw there, they were able to remove it. It was 8 inches long and 2 inches wide. The man is in good health and he's expected to make a full recovery. Look, people have different ideas when it comes to sexual pleasure, and I don't judge. That's their business. Completely. But an artillery shell? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, the dude is 88. I guess he wanted to go out with a bang, Joey?
I mean, he could. He may just be really into military foreplay, I guess. I'm not really sure he was thinking. 88 years old, I would suggest that you maybe go a little slowly in that case. But I'm not sure what he was doing with in that situation. How does that even come about? I have no idea.
How do you define military foreplay? Can you explain what's military foreplay?
I would just say that it has to be some military costumes and they're role playing.
And artillery shells up the ass.
I don't know. It could be. I got nothing for that.
Okay. I can go in so many different directions with this. I'm going to try to keep it light. Have you ever gotten anything stuck in or around your body that required you to get help removing it? And it could be like gum in your hair. It could be something in your ear. Have you ever gotten anything stuck somewhere and you needed somebody's help to remove it?
No, not anything that would be dramatic. Glass, yes. I remember a story when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. I was picking up glass from the floor that had just broke, and my dad was nearby, and we were playing outside. I went to go pick up the glass, and I heard my dad scream, "No!" My little sister decided to step on my hand while I was picking up the glass. I don't know what the reasoning was. She must have been 4 or 5 at the time. Glass all through my fingers. Still have the scars till today. But that's probably the time I would say needed something taken out of my body.
That's not bad. I mean, at least you didn't say, speaking of that artillery shell, there was this one time. You know what I mean? All right, guys. Reminder, get in your super chats to get your question or statement read on the air. Or if you can't catch the show live, go to kynchat.com. Leave a contribution anytime you want, and we'll read your question or statement on the next show. Let's go to story number 5, reported by WIOnews.com. All right, this is another interesting one. So there was a man in Japan, and he had a dream to look like something else. He wanted to fulfill that dream. And so he paid a company called Zeppit, which is a Japanese modeling and makeup studio. He paid them 3 million yen, or the equivalent of about $23,000 in order to make his dream come true. So, Joey, what was it that this man wanted to look like?
You stumped me here. I'm going to suggest some sort of animal. I'm going to go with a zebra. I don't know. That's what came to my mind first.
A zebra. So you're close. You're close. So he wanted to be a real life wolf from head to toe. And so he got a custom wolf costume made. Check this out. Look at
Wow.
that. Look at that. We got additional pictures of this. I mean, that looks pretty damn real. I got to say, we have a close up of the head too. Look at that, man. Now, I got to tell you, I would not pay 23 grand for a wolf costume, but that looks pretty damn real. Like, what do you think about that?
That is a little too real. I mean, if I would have seen that walking around on all fours, possibly, I would probably, I don't know what I would do. Run away. I don't know. But that is a little too, was it all made, or was it one of those, they took a real one and they just,
I don't think, well, they didn't say, they just said that they custom made a costume. I mean, that thing looks like if you put a red leather jacket on it, it could start like dancing Thriller.
Absolutely. No,
that's what it looks like. You know what I mean?
That's a little too much. I mean, I like Halloween and all, but Halloween is October. Not any
this dude wants it all year round. I don't know. So is there any animal or creature, although maybe zebras are going to be your answer, is there any animal or creature or person that you would want a company like Zebit to make a custom outfit for you?
I don't know. I don't think any person. I don't think there's anybody that I would want to be dressed. That's a little too creepy. An animal, I think a cool animal to be would probably be a lion. I don't know, lion, king of the jungle. I mean, everybody, you see a lion and you kind of react. So I think if I had to pick one, that would probably be it. But not really anything in my mind.
Fascinating. Do you think you'd be like walking down a yellow brick road next to a little girl looking for courage?
Right. Get a whole team together. Get a team man. Get a scarecrow.
Yeah. You could have a faction. That'd be your faction.
Exactly. A faction.
Yeah. Faction. Yeah. All right. Let's go on to story number 4, reported by BBC News. Okay. There's a health clinic in Doncaster, England. It's called the Askern Medical Practice. They sent out a text message to patients registered with them on December 23rd because they wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. So everyone on their list, they sent them a text message to wish them a Merry Christmas, but there was a glitch. And so those thousands of registered patients, they were sent another message instead. Joey, any idea what the other message said?
Oh, man. Well, assuming that they made different templates to send out to different groups, I would suggest maybe they sent something out like a happy birthday or happy Hanukkah, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay, so imagine if you were one of the patients on their list. They were sent a text message telling them that they had lung cancer.
Oh my!
And
God.
Here is a picture of the actual text message that went out. Check this out.
See, I was trying to keep it light. This is wow.
Yeah, this really happened. They said for the above patient, diagnosis aggressive lung cancer with metastasis, and then they had information below about a form that they could fill out in order to get benefits. Almost 8,000 people were sent that text message, and it took about an hour for a second text to go out that basically clarified the mistake. So that means that for 1 hour, 2 days before Christmas, thousands of people thought that they had lung cancer. Like absolutely unbelievable that this would happen. What do you think of this? Like, how does something like that possibly happen?
Honestly, that's not even a mistake. That's a fireable offense in my opinion. Whoever was in charge of that, I know for the work that I do outside of wrestling, we have automated messages that go out to specific ones that go out for specific things. And if someone gets messed up like that, I mean, someone has to be held accountable, and that's not, especially around the holidays. That's not anything that it's not a mistake. That's an F up, if you know what I mean.
I'm sure there's a lot of people after that hour would go by, because I'm sure they'd be like devastated during that hour. But when the hour goes by and they get the text saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, it was a mistake," I'm sure a lot of people would just be relieved, and they would be like, "Oh, thank goodness." Not this guy. This guy would be calling my attorney.
That's what I was just gonna say.
And I'd be telling my family, guess what? Christmas is paid for this year.
Yep.
Because the Askern Medical Practice is going to pay for our holidays.
I was just going to suggest that. Is that a offense to sue? I wouldn't even know.
It's got to be. It's got to be. You talk about what would the term be? Let's just say yes.
Yeah.
Let's just go with yes. I think it would be. Okay. Has anybody ever accidentally sent you a wrong message that left you in shock or despair for a short period of time? Or have you ever accidentally sent a wrong message to somebody else?
Oh, I've definitely sent the wrong messages to people countless times. I am so you can even see some of my tweets sometimes. It's not autocorrect. It's me I write something and send it out without proofreading it. It happens all the time. But one instance that I can remember, I had a good friend of mine, send me a text. It was a breakup text, and it was not meant for me. It was meant for my friend. So I knew my friend was being broken up with before he did.
By text message?
By text message. I'm just all the wrong things that can happen in that situation.
Wow. So what did you do?
I called the girl. I said, listen, it's not who you think it is. But yeah, what would you do? Because I didn't do anything. I just said, all right, I'm going to pretend I didn't know anything because I don't want to get involved in someone's relationship. But would you like go to your friend and say, hey, like beware? Or
it would depend on who I'm closer to. If I'm closer to the girl or closer to the guy.
Yeah, I was close to both. I was Switzerland. I was very much in the middle there. Good friends.
Wow. That's the world we live in now, where people are dumping people through text message.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Man,
I would never.
Man.
I would.
See, I've been with my wife since like 2009, so I've gotten to avoid all this bullshit.
Yeah,
you know.
Lucky
but,
you.
I can't imagine dumping somebody via text message. Fuck, that's just the world we're living in, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, dating today is just no.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, now you hear stories now about catfishing and
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. Final reminder, get in your super chat, have your question or statement read on the air, or go to kynchat.com and leave a contribution at any time, and we'll read your question or statement on the next show. Let's go on to story number 3, reported by Oddity Central. All right. These keep coming and they're always real. It's just fascinating. So apparently there's an issue in Africa with fraudulent pastors. One guy staged a fake resurrection in order to trick his congregation. Another guy said that he would heal the sick by spraying them with bug spray. Well, there's a pastor in South Africa. He goes by the name MS Budeli. He advertised what he called a worship conference on December 25th on Christmas Day. And there was a promotional poster that was made, and it made the rounds on social media because it was showing that he had the power to do stuff, but it cost you money. Obviously, of course it did. It cost you money. And some of the promises that he made were typical. Like, for example, for 20,000 Rand, which is about $1,100 US, he would help you see God in heaven. But the biggest ticket, which cost 300,000 Rand, or about 17,000 US, was promising something else. Joey, what promise did Pastor MS Budeli make for people that were willing to pay 17 grand US?
It's got to be something sexual. I'm not sure what it is, but we know the world today. People pay for sex. It's got to be something sexual.
He said he would help them win in an online gambling game called Aviator. Here is the promotional poster, and this is real. This is real. Look at this. So there is MS Budeli right there. There is where he said to see God in heaven, 20,000 Rand. The bottom one, 300,000 Rand. Look at some of the stuff. To cancel your debts, 5,000 Rand. To get married tomorrow, 10,000 Rand. To be protected in crime, because I guess they're in a high crime area, 20,000. To see your future in your phone, 20,000. Doesn't this tell you about priorities that people have when, like, hey, get your debts canceled for 5,000, or you can win in a gambling game for 300,000? What do you think about that?
Yeah, see, I understand what they're doing, because they're assuming that if you get all your debts, deleted, I mean, you'll be free and clear. But if you win this game, you'll be able to make as much money as possible to clear your debt and have extra. I'm assuming that's what they're thinking. But yeah, no. Yeah, my mind went completely like left field with that one.
Oh, I know it did. Oh, you're still thinking about the 88-year-old with the shell in his ass.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I think definitely for that poster, you got to get the Know Your News team to do some graphics, because you guys do some fantastic graphics, and they need some Photoshop over there. So maybe
I think I'll hit up Pastor Budeli, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to make you a deal. So you can clear up all my debt and I will get more graphics made for you. It'll be a good trade-off.
There you
know what I
go.
mean?
It's perfect.
So my question for this one. So Joel, can you put that poster back up? All right. If his promises were real, which one would you most be willing to pay for and why?
Well, first, I guess it depends on how much money I have. No, which one would I want? I would probably say protected in crime.
Really? Really?
Yeah,
Because he's living in New York? Is that why?
I guess so. I mean, I don't do anything would be criminal offense, but I guess like if it ever were to come about that I had to do something, I guess I'm off limits there.
Interesting. Well, I think they're also talking about you're protected, meaning no one else is going to like mug you or shoot you or harm you
Yeah,
in any way,
yeah.
kind of thing. Fascinating. I'm definitely going for the future in the phone. I
See,
want to know what's
I was
going
thinking
on.
that one. I was thinking that one.
Yeah, that would be good to know in case there's any like nonsense down the road I have to be prepared for.
Yeah, that would make me just too anxious.
because you're waiting for the day.
Yeah, you're waiting.
Basically. Yeah. Unless it's good stuff. All right, let's go on to story number 2, reported by The Sun. So there's a woman in South Africa, and her name is Aviwe. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Aviwe. She was desperate to lose weight in order to qualify for breast reduction surgery. She found out about a medical procedure that could help, and she decided to give it a try. Joey, what did this lady do to lose weight so that she could get her surgery done?
I have no clue whatsoever for this one. She definitely had to. She definitely had to eat something that could help her prevent or get weight loss or whatever. It's definitely got to. She ate something. She was told she had to eat something to help her with that.
I think in her case, she probably did the opposite. Didn't eat anything. She got her jaw wired shut. And here is a clip courtesy of her TikTok, which is A_V19. Look at this. Man. This is real. So they actually call them slimming wires. They actually have a term for it. They call it slimming wires. Put it up again, Joel, because it goes really quick. Look at them putting that in. So they attach brackets to the teeth, and then they wrap a wire through them, and it keeps your jaw shut. She could only drink smoothies, and so she lost 31 pounds in 7 weeks because she could only have smoothies. That seems a little bit extreme. What do you think about slimming wires?
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. I think that would be more of a health hazard than anything.
You'd think it's not the best situation, right?
No, I mean, I have a great appetite and I can eat really anything, but I don't think that there would be a situation where I can't control myself, that I need to have my jaw wired shut so I don't eat.
Yeah, it's not that hard. I've been eating keto for like the last 3 months. I've been eating low carb. Yeah. And I dropped like 10 pounds. It's easy. It's not hard at all. I'm sure as hell not wiring my jaw shut. Not necessary. No. All right. So have you ever tried any kind of a self-help gimmick, whether it be for weight loss or better skin or better hair or any of the bullshit that you see on television? Have you ever tried any kind of self-help gimmick?
Oh, I have.
Let's hear it. What do you got? Give me some idea.
I've done the smoothie diet. They say you can lose some weight. When I was that doesn't work. I even tried one time. It was a long while ago. It said like the whole fasting thing, and it got to the point where I was like seeing stars in the middle of the day. And I was like, this is not healthy at all. No.
How long were you fasting for?
I was doing like 4 to 6 hours.
That's all, and because I intermittent fast every night, so between like 7 p.m. and about 9 a.m. the next morning, I don't eat between 7 p.m. and 9 a.m. But it's because of my schedule with my kids. It's very easy. We have to have dinner by 7. I don't eat breakfast till night. It's simple. So 4 to 6 hours, really, that was your limit with fasting.
Yeah, and I was having liquids and coffee, whatnot, but no food.
And wow. But you haven't fallen for any, they have some really, really stupid bullshit. Like, do you remember the shake weight?
Shake weight? I've never tried it. I've always seen, I know people who have tried it.
I mean, all men in their own way have tried it. But when I saw that, I thought, okay, who came up with this one? And what was the inspiration? You know what I mean?
Funny story about that one. I've seen someone a long while ago. I saw someone using a shake weight on a subway, and it was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever. They were just there doing it, looking around at people like it was like a normal thing to do in public.
It must have been the shock. They were going for the shock factor.
Yeah, they definitely.
Maybe they were
Someone had to be
recording.
filming or something. I would assume so. But yeah.
I remember an episode, might have been an episode of The Simpsons, where there was a guy and like his left forearm was puny and his right forearm was like Popeye the Sailor Man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that dude created the shake weight.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking.
Has to be.
All right. It is time for story number 1. The last one reported by NBC Miami. This is interesting. So there was a commissioner's meeting in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, so that people could discuss and review a nearly $1 million contract for a waste processing plant that the city wanted to do. There was a group of people that attended the meeting because they wanted to propose what they felt was a better alternative way to spend that money, right? So they wanted to tell city council, instead of spending almost $1 million on this waste processing plant, how about you spend some of the money on this other thing instead? What idea do you think that this group proposed to city council in South Florida?
Oh man, I lived in Fort Lauderdale for like almost 16 years. So
okay.
I consider myself one of them, but I don't know. Depending on the response to this, whatever they ask for, I don't know if I do necessarily. If they were, it's got to be something for. I'm stumped.
Okay, well, you never would have guessed this.
Yeah.
So it was a dominatrix group. They were asking for $250,000 to build an SMN dungeon. Here is a clip from the city commission regular meeting, courtesy of the city of Fort Lauderdale. And this is real. Check this out.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, council peoples. You may call me mistress. I am here standing neutral to the motion approving an agreement for the proprietary purchase of yard waste processing and disposal. I do, however, find it interesting that you will spend almost $1 million to hide your secrets down the drain. Hiding that condom I know you used to cheat on your spouse with. So, I propose that you use a quarter of that $1 to support doms and subs in Broward County, to build a dungeon created for us by us, the taxpayers and voting citizens. In closing, do not let this glamorous look distract you from doing your duty to take my demand. I look forward to spanking each and every single one of you at the new esteemed dungeon. You are dismissed.
Yeah. I want to go on the record and say I no longer claim to be from Fort Lauderdale. Knowing the area, knowing the type of people that are in South Florida and Broward County, doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. There's a lot.
That doesn't surprise you.
A lot of craziness. There's a lot of money there, which brings a lot of craziness. And I guess you're wondering why all the left field sex stuff were coming to my mind. I think it's from living in South Florida, because you can see here, they're a little insane.
Well, city council had fun with that. And after those people left, the council members, they were asking each other, hey, are there any districts that currently have a dungeon? Like, what about that district? Do they have a dungeon, or does that district have a dungeon? They're having fun with it. Goes without saying, they're not spending money on an S&M dungeon. They're not going to do it. But fascinating situation. So last story, it's like, what question do I ask Joel Karni, but somehow related to this shit? So I'm going to try to keep it light. If you were going to ask your town council to build a structure for you, what kind of structure would it be, and what purpose would it serve?
So being, in the wrestling realm, I would have to suggest I need a wrestling ring studio production setup, whether for me or to have other people come in. It would definitely be wrestling related. Have a ring set up. Maybe to do a podcast, who knows, but something with a wrestling ring set up there. That would be
fascinating. Fascinating. Yeah. That's actually a pretty good answer. I'd probably do the same thing. I'd probably look for either that or some kind of a structure to keep my kids in if I want to break.
Yeah.
You know, so
I like that. And I invite TJ and Natty to come and do some lessons and do all the stuff they do out in Tampa. So
there you go. There you go. The Demon Diva can come down there.
Absolutely. And, she's first on my list. All
right. Well, I want to thank our guest, Joey Karni, for joining us. Joey, tell the people what you're doing and where they can find you.
I appreciate you, Jimmy, for having me on. You can follow me at The Angle Radio across the board, all social media. Host a wrestling podcast, talk with a bunch of big-time wrestlers, all different kinds of wrestling content, also on TikTok, The Angle Podcast. And you can catch me every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on the Know Your News channel with the Demon Diva, Isa, hosting TLR, the Ludicrous Report. And again, Jimmy, thank you very much for having me on and all the stuff that you do with the Know Your News channel. A lot of great stuff like we talk about on the show, something different every day of the week. It's really a pleasure to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you. I do this for fun. I don't do this for money. And if the day ever comes that Stupid People News stops, that's when I will stop this thing. That means it's never going to stop. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for KYN Live. Tune in next Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern time for more silliness that's totally real. Until then, bye for now.